Hi everyone, Kelly here. Today I'm going to be doing my ghost hunting experiences. Now I've got 2 to film, so I'll do them in order. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Lincoln Prison. Now we was a bit of a in and ahhing about this one because of course we booked it and we was going with Haunted Happenings. I cannot remember the price now. I know it was for how many hours? 6 or 8 hours? I cannot remember now. It's like 2-3 weeks ago. But anyway, we was umming and ahhing because it was the weekend when we had all that snow and we thought we'd never ever make it up there. But we went early enough and we missed all the snow, so that was good. And we got there fine. It was hardly anything up there snow wise. So yeah, anyway, going on to it, like I said, we went with Haunted Happenings. Again, you go to the base room to begin with and you get the talk and they have to go over things like no alcohol is allowed and things like that. Like safety things, and introduce ourselves. And on this one at Lincoln Prison they had 3 people that were dressed up as prison guards and officers and things like that, which was really good. It made the night a bit more better, if you get what I mean. And then we had a walk around and the people that were dressed up were telling us about the places there, what used to happen there and things like that. So we had the walk around and then we had our picture taken, and that's always done on the Haunted Happenings official page on Facebook. And when I'm in the photos I do tag myself with the rest of the group, so if you are on my personal Facebook page you will see that of all the ones I've been on and the ones I'm tagged. So then we got split up, I think, into 3 groups, and in our group I think we only had about 6 or 7. I think our group was the smallest group. So me and Philip with these other people, and we first went into like the courtroom, and first of all calling out, nothing was really happening at all. And then we did the Ouija board. It moved a bit but it wasn't making sense at all. So what we just did then, we all just sat and waited and asking for things to happen. There was cold breezes, but that's all. That really funny smells like somebody dropped their guts, which I did ask Philip. I was like, you farted? And he was like, no. But yeah, funny smells, a couple of knocks, cold breezes, but nothing spectacular. And then we went back and for a break, and then we could do an investigation on our own. So me and Philip went all the way around. I think he had the EMF meter with him. That didn't spike at all. At one point me and Philip sat around a table and we just had our hands on the table, like just asking, and it did it did move slightly. And then we then had another break, and then it was time to go off again in our groups. So we went into this one room, which is the women's cell, no, the men's cell. And I was seeing, there was like a staircase, I was seeing like a shadow at the side of the staircase. I didn't say anything, and then Philip said exactly the same thing to the medium, and the medium goes yes, because that's where she was looking, that she could see somebody there. And then we was calling out and all that. We didn't hear anything. And then me and Philip were seeing excuse me, white lights. And then Philip, he was looking up at like the cells at the top, and he said there's somebody in that cell. I was looking, I couldn't see anybody, and Philip went up there. He asked if he could go up there, so he went up there, and the medium went up there, and another bloke went up there. Philip was stood in the one that he said he sees somebody like poking their head out of, and he said as soon as he got in there, the hairs on his back, on his arms, you know, you like stuck up on end. So he come out and he said to the medium, so the medium just stood in front of the door, and he got the same. The hairs on the back of his neck were standing up. He said it was freaky, and then the other bloke did it, that was in our group, and he experienced the same thing. And then we went into the prison room after, to the other medium. And it was a woman's prison, and it was asking things to happen. There was a few noises, but you couldn't actually say it was paranormal, because on the scaffolding bit they had up, they had like plastic, so it might have been that with the wind blowing it. And then we all went into a little cell, and we was all holding hands, asking out. And of course Philip was the only bloke in our group, so he was in a women's prison, and they didn't like him there. All of a sudden, Philip, his arm just started going up, and he was holding on to another girl's hand, so their arms were going up. Then all of a sudden his other arm started going backwards, so I was holding his other arm, so he was like this, and then all of a sudden he turned, and it was like it was trying to push him down. So that freaked everybody out a little bit, and then we said, okay, let's all change round, let's move, shuffle round a bit more. So Philip's at the other side of the room, and then all of a sudden it started happening again. But it was to me and a girl next to me. We was holding hands, and our arms started raising really, really high. And then all of a sudden our arms were turning, and at one point it was like this, like mine and the other woman's hand, it was like in my face. It was like it was trying to get my face. And then all of a sudden our arms went back, and it was against a wall. And then that's when Philip started again. His arm that I was holding was going backwards, and the one with the other girl holding, that was up in the air, and he was like almost nearly on the floor, and I was like trying to hold his hand and turn the same time. It was really, really freaky, and he did go very, very quiet that last time, and I had to keep saying, Philip, you alright, you alright? Because he went really, really quiet, and then the medium said, are you okay? And eventually it was like, yeah, it was like he came out of like a trance, and she said, I could see that you were going into a trance because your aura was changing, so that was good. And then we had a big last vigil at the end. So if you can hear the dog barking, she is absolutely doing my head in. We had a big vigil, and what was we doing there? We all holded hands, and this was the best bit. We was all calling out, and all of a sudden you could hear like a cry of a baby. It was really, really freaky. I heard it coming from one of the cells, and somebody said to a bloke, go in there, and he was going, I don't want to go in there. So he went in there, and then all of a sudden it did it again, and I've never seen a bloke run out of there so fast in my life. I think that happened 3 times. It was really, really freaky. The cry of a baby is like a cry of a baby. That was really, really good. And then I think quite a few people were getting cold breezes. I know I was getting cold breezes on my hands and on my legs. It was weird though, because like, okay, it's cold in there, yeah, but you can feel when there's a breeze and nobody moving, just stood there holding hands, and you can feel a breeze like somebody's walking past you. Really, really freaky. And then we moved down to the building a little bit more. We were still in the big group, so everybody that was at that location that time, we was all holding hands. And then Philip started going with his hands again, and then my other hand started going, but it started going just up and down, up and down, up and down, just like that. So me and the girl next to me, our arms were aching because they were going up and down. It's the strangest feeling when your arms are being raised. For me, it's pins and needles, and then the pins and needles, when your hands are actually raised in the air, it's horrible. You can feel it all in your fingertips, and it's like all in your hand. And then if you look at your hand, you can see lights going around your hand. So that's one. But it's so freaky to feel that in your fingers. Look at your hand and you can see like dots, like green dots around your fingers. It was weird. So yeah, Philip's hands started going again, and he was turning around and getting like pushed down the same time, and he went quiet again, and I had to like pull him out of it in the end. He was in a trance, and he was absolutely sweating, and it was absolutely freezing in there. So that is all that happened at Lincoln Prison. I hope you enjoyed, and my next one will be up after this one, which will be my favourite Draco tunnels. Ooh. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye bye.